Hi everybody, I'm Deanna Rivera, and today I'm presenting on the article by Angela McRobbie called Post-Feminism in Popular Culture. Post-feminism refers to the active process by which feminist gains of the 1970s and 80s come to be undermined. McRobbie proposes, as her overall main idea, that elements of contemporary popular culture are harmfully effective in regards to this undoing of feminism that she believes is happening, while simultaneously appearing to be engaging in a well-informed response to feminism. She believes that post-feminism positively draws on feminism to suggest that equality is already achieved so that the new meanings can be put in place, which emphasize that feminism is no longer needed. This also will imply that it's a thing of the past. I'm going to start off with her topic under unpopular feminism. McRobbie brings up a TV advertisement with the supermodel Claudia Schiffer in it, where she takes off her clothes and walks down a big flight of stairs out of a big mansion into her new car. She argues that, of course, at first, it's an obviously sexist ad, and this would then bring up feminist critiques. So feminism is taken into account, but then it is proven to be no longer necessary because this striptease is shown to be made by choice or by enjoyment because she is a model. This obvious objection at first is made to be dismissed as belonging to the past, to a time when feminists used to object to such imagery. So then McRobbie brings up this idea of feminism being undone, and she uses this example of hyperculture of commercial sexuality to prove this. When it's a normal thing now for women to be wearing t-shirts with sexual phrases on it, or for women to go to male strip clubs, the new female subject is, despite her freedom, called upon to be silent and to withhold critique. Specifically, there is an uncritical relation to commercially produced sexual representations, which invokes hostility to assumed feminist positions from the past, in order to promote new sexual meanings based on female consent, equality, participation, and pleasure. The last topic I'm going to cover today from McRobbie is female individualization. This refers to the expectations that individuals now enthusiastically self-monitor, and that there appears to be a greater capacity on the part of the individual to plan a life of one's own. This concept emphasizes the growth of freedom and choice. This concept also directly relates to the concept of reflexive modernization, which created a set of institutions like education, allowing women to become more independent and able to earn their own living. Young women are, as a result, now able to be free from communities where gender roles were once fixed. The movie Bridget Jones' Diary is an example of media that McRobbie uses to explain these concepts. Bridget is an example of the new young women who are confident enough to declare their anxieties about possible failure in finding a husband, who avoid aggressive or overtly traditional men, and who openly enjoy their sexuality without the fear of the sexual double standard. These new women are the products of modernity. Texts like these normalize post-feminist gender anxieties so as to regulate young women by means of the language of personal choice. McRobbie says, and I quote, "The media has become the key site for defining codes of sexual conduct. It casts judgment and establishes the rules of play. Across these many channels of communication, feminism is routinely disparaged, and I agree with this. The media does define what is seen as okay in a society and what is worth of judgment. Popular culture and media do seem to overly sexualize women, but also women are then judged for being too overly sexual in their real lives. And women seem to let this happen, which downplays feminist positions. Something I do not agree with that McRobbie says, however, is that there is an uncritical relation between women and the commercially produced sexual representations. I feel like that is a generalized statement, and that's not necessarily true. Some women choose to comply with these standards set by the media, but not all women do. And some women do choose to not stay quiet and become openly critical when they are offended by a certain sexual representation that is being produced in the media. So now I put 2 links in the description to help relate the topics to the media. The first one is the clip from the TV show Sex and the City. And in this clip, Carrie is talking to her friends, asking them if she should take the money from a man who's offering her to help pay for a down payment on her house. And one of her friends is saying that she shouldn't because she shouldn't give the man the power, and the other one is saying she should. This highlights the different ways of thinking between post-feminism women, and then it ends with Carrie saying that she's going to do it on her own, she won't take the man's money, and this to me is an example of female individualization. The second link is a link to an advertisement made by the clothing store American Apparel. Now this ad is obviously overly sexualizing the girl, however, yet again, there's this obvious idea that she is a model, so despite the feminist critiques, some people could think that she's okay with this, so why shouldn't I be? This ad promotes this ideology in our culture that it is not wrong for women to be posed in such ways if it's okay with them, and it is their choice.